InDesign CS6 added a few new features, one of them being liquid layout. I'm going to start by just showing you a new option in the New Document window. So through File, New Document, under Intent, they've added an entirely new category, Digital Publishing. And here you have common sizes for e-reading devices or tablet devices, the iPhone size, the iPad size, the Fire or Nook, or the Zoom. I'm going to hit Cancel, and this document was built to the iPad portrait size, but I need to rework the layout to build a landscape in case they turn the iPad. I want to have an alternate version. So if I go to my Page tool, the third tool down on the left, you'll notice that I have iPad, and the liquid page rules are off. Let's see what those rules do. With them off, if I simply hit Landscape, everything stayed its actual size, and my page changed to landscape, so I'd have a lot of reworking to do. I'll undo that and switch to Scale. And Scale will take every element on the page and scale it to fit the new layout. So if I hit Landscape here, it all scaled and centered inside the box, but still not ideal. I could do that with a Select All and scale them down. So I'll undo that one and take a look at Recenter. Recenter will also keep it the same size. So I'll hit Landscape, and it just centered them and keeps them in the middle of the new layout. Then I'm going to skip object-based so I could show you that in detail, but I have guide-based. And if I choose guide-based and I hit landscape, it really kept everything along the left guides where it was sitting. But maybe I want to allow them to center, so it's really only using the page guides at this point. If I undo that and I drag a guide over to the middle of my layout, it gets a dotted line because there are two categories of guides that you can create now. I'll go to my selection tool so you could see it. And if I click on the guide itself, it can be a ruler guide, traditional or old-fashioned. When I click this little registration mark there, it becomes a liquid guide, which works for liquid layout. So creating a vertical guide down the center allows the stuff that intersects it to be scaled. And if you're on the Page tool, a dashed guide is a liquid guide automatically. So now with guide-based, when I hit Landscape, it did scale everything that crossed over that guide. Family is big, this centered and scaled, the image centered and scaled, and Bringing Home Baby did, but this was untouched because it didn't touch a guide. I'll undo that, and what I've actually done in this file is a little bit of work to make sure that elements stay where I want them when they're resized. So if I choose Object-Based, and from my Layout menu, bring up the Liquid Layout panel, I could see with Object-Based, if I select the Family object, this has nothing applied to it. But if I look at this caption, I've told it that it's allowed to resize the width. If I look at this image, it can resize both the width and the height, but it's linking it or locking it to the bottom of the page. That's what the pin does. It says keep this point still. If I click Bringing Home Baby, it's not resizing at all. It's just moving or pinned to the right side of the page. These several boxes are a group, and I'm allowing the width to adjust, and it's linking to the bottom and to the left, so it always stays on that margin. So now, when I hit Landscape View, I get something definitely more workable, but Family is a little bit off my layout. So I'll undo that and apply a rule to Family. I'll click on Family. You have to aim for the edge of the characters because the inside is clear or hollow. And I'll choose Pin to the top, but don't resize it. Keep the logo size the same. And now if I change to Landscape, Family stayed on that top margin, everything else is close to where I want it, I can go back to my selection tool. I can move this box down a little bit so it stays as a caption. I'll use my arrow keys to nudge, just my down arrow on my keyboard. And I'll click the photo and I'll choose Fill Frame Proportionally so I see a little bit more of the image. Liquid layout, ideal for repurposing or publishing to mobile and tablet devices and creating alternate layouts for portrait or landscape or different tablet sizes.